Good afternoon. I have a piece of paper in my hand. Is this of any relevance today? We are moving towards a paperless world, right? Uh, we've moved from digital to now we're going to quantum. But is this relevant? Well, it depends on what you want to do with it. Some people write epic sagas on paper, some people draw and paint on this. What I do is I sculpt paper with geometry. So for me, it began when I was in the second or third grade with paper planes. We all love paper airplanes. And what I would do, in the school, we had this desk where you could keep books. My desk was always full of paper airplanes. I only knew how to fold that one design, but that was enough. I was crazy about it. Whenever there was a free time, I would go to the window, check it, and watch it glide down. It was magical. I'm sure all of you have also created paper planes and enjoyed with it. But that moment for me was a spark. And that spark ignited, got kindled when on my 10th birthday, I got a book on paper airplanes. So for me, it was like, wow, is there more than one way to fold a piece of paper in paper airplanes? And it's like my mind was blown. But that was where my journey began. Before I tell you about my journey, do you know what is origami? We all know it's the art of paper folding. Origami, the word is made up of two Japanese words, oru, to fold, and kami. So it was a folk art. Origami in Japan was a folk art. It was passed on from generation to generation, embedded in stories. See, that's how things get a life of their own, right? So, but it was still a folk art and put in pockets. And by the 1950s, it was almost dying out. Until this rock star came on the scene. He's an older gentleman in this photograph, but he changed everything. He made origami, paper, look very natural, very organic, rounded. Look at the sculpture, especially if you can look at the monkey's face. So he added that sculptural quality to his work. And his other contribution was that he made a system. Like if some of you are learning music, you know how we have notations in music? So he created a system of notation that could, where we could record the process of making a model for posterity. So that was his. So what happened after the 1950s, where the usual models, like the number of models, designs known to people were maybe like 100, 150. But then a lot of other people from other fields, they got interested because of this man. And today there are unlimited, tens of thousands of designs being made. So as the repertoire of origami designs grew, so did the complexity of origami, of how you did this. So what happened is we went from cuts, like, cutting paper to denote a subject, using multiple sheets and very symbolic looking representations of subjects. And from there, we moved on to single sheet and representation, very realistic representations. Simple swan, it's like a 2-minute model, right? It's a traditional model. But look what it can be made into. More beautiful, right? More realistic, more elegant. So this is what happened. We've all made this. A jumping frog. Yeah. Have you made this in class in your childhood? Yes. It is good for the toy that it is, for the movement. But representationally, maybe not so. What about this one? Looks like it'll jump off the screen, right? And this is from one sheet of paper, single sheet. This could be a toy, like an elephant, very cute little toy. But what about this? More realistic proportions, yeah, and more 3D. So this is what origami has become today in artistic representation. You're still using the same art, with which we were folding paper planes, but today it's this. So what has changed is the idea of the origami design. Okay, when you unfold, like if you folded a boat, say for example, or a paper plane, if you unfold it, what will happen? You'll still have creases of the folds that were there. It will not be just a blank sheet of paper. So this is called a crease pattern in origami. That's like the blueprint or a fingerprint DNA, like we have in humans, right? That's how it is. It is unique. Each crease pattern is unique to the design. And if you're advanced enough, you can just look at this, take a sheet of paper, and fold it into the meditating man that I have made on the right hand side. Yeah. So these are some designs by a modern origami master called Brian Chan. He's from MIT. Look at this. Such a complex figure. I think it's an anime character. You might know better. But the crease pattern shows this complex array of all the creases, which shows a geometric progression. How the paper is divided, what angles are used to get long and thin appendages. It's amazing. It you without cutting to get all these appendages and the color changes is what today's modern origami is. Uh, you can see over here. I can't see the crease pattern, and again with the same crease pattern, he has made different designs for the shells for origami. And this, if you know, you're all kids. If somebody is interested in geometry, this is a very common example of rotational symmetry. You know, like around the point. So if anyone is interested, you can make something like this, a water strider. Now, as in the 50s, people brought their ideas into origami and made it something so beautiful. Similarly, people took the ideas from origami to their own fields. All right. So there is widespread application of origami in today's world. These are actual products that Nike is selling. There are other products which are there that you can see. It's been used in packaging. Would you like to wear something like this? What? It's there. It's like I was mentioning. There's Issei Miyake was a Japanese designer who used a lot of origami in his fashion, like even handbags and stuff. That's more doable than these maybe, but it's used in fashion. This is the most fascinating one for me. They've used this in space. Why? Because when you fold a sheet of paper, whatever the size you start from, you have folded it to a smaller size. It has compact, right? And it's a very definite way that you close or you make that origami shape. So see what they've done over here, that they are opening the solar sail. You see, like right now, there is this bright light on my eyes. If I do this, I can see you clearly. So this is what that blue screen is doing. It's a solar sail. It's a star shape. What does it do? It allows them to take planetary photographs, which would not be possible if uh, you could not shade your eyes. It's used in defense, in drones, medicine. Look at that stent on the top left. That's an actual stent. That's an actual product. So they inject in that collapsed form, and wherever the blockage is there, it's then deployed. 10-year-old me would never even have thought that such a magical, transformative art, origami, the same art that I like to fold to make planes, someday be of so much of benefit to humanity by making a stent. So come back to my journey. I started when I was 10 years old. This is my 37th year. You know my age, no? I have folded stuff. I have enjoyed folding. There's not been a single day that I have not folded something. Even today morning, before coming here, I was folding. I folded this from small, tiny sizes which fit on my nail to something that's real life size. This was my fourth record. Look at the corner of the paper. This is the paper that I used for the elephant that you just saw. And this, like, just think of that elephant on my fingernail. This was in an unused airplane hangar in Chennai. And the paper that I'm standing on, I'm scratching my head. It's 95 feet by 95 feet square sheet of paper. Okay, how do you make it? You join sheets and you make a larger sheet. Yes, but how do you fold it? Well, you just take a corner and you start folding. There's nothing great about it. But, well, it resulted in this huge thing. At that time, I was not so interested in making it look very sculptural. The technical expertise was more important to me. So this is 35 feet tall from the head to the floor, the feet, and 105 feet long from head to the tail. So this was my second record, but this was quite an achievement in its time. So, and these I have done. So then, like these animals were sent outside. So, every single project that I've done, there's something new to learn. Like if I want to make it expressive, I could have made a gorilla, which is just, like a statue, but, they wanted something with a more dynamic expression. So something like this. This is me folding a small model at home, but then I've also been the fold in a museum halfway across the world. This was done in 5 days in a museum in the Netherlands. This is a pioneer arch coda, and we made it 20 feet deer. And again, like Sir was saying about ambushes, like, here in India, we are so happy to work round the clock. Okay, there they have very strict rules. You cannot open before whatever 9:30 or something, and it has to close by 5, and you cannot stay there. It was a googly for me. What to do? I had gone there thinking that okay, I'll make a proper, nice origami deer, 20 foot tall. But I had to improvise, and we managed to do this in 5 days. It's 20 feet tall. This was the one that was shown on History Channel on OMG Mera India, and these were some recent ones. So I think there is, like, if you look at the progression of these designs, so it's always something new. You have to seek out something new. What you see over here is the result of incremental improvements. Like what you saw on the dinosaur that was there, it was there as a good achievement, but it didn't look so visually appealing. But this one is a little more appealing, hopefully. So you keep on improving. Incremental improvements is what is very important. And origami has been a part of my life for these last 38 years. It has taken me to places, it has taken me out of very, very dark places, and it's a constant companion. It's taught me things. I love to share my origami. Like she was so tiny, so tiny, and the way she was folding it was so exciting. Very, very remote regions in India and abroad, and but see, look at the smile on her face. Sitting there, we had stopped for some chai or something. I was folding. That's my habit. I'll just sit and I'll fold. She was standing there with a frown, like, what exactly is happening? What is this guy doing? And then when I showed her this action of the flapping bird, you can see the smile on her face. You can't fake this, right? So that's what origami has done for me. This was from last year. These were two boys, like a place called Brindavan. Uh, they were like, begging. They were on the other side of the pond, and they were in to ask me for money. But again, like that girl, like they were so happy. Just look at it. I am, even when I look at their face, smile, their eyes, it reminds me this is what I love to do. I love to travel. I love to share origami and meet them. I've There's not a single person I've met who has seen something like this in action origami and not smile. So, to you as students, what I say, it's taken me almost 4 decades to come to a certain thing, but it all started with a magic spark. So look for that magic spark within you. Every day you could be inspired. You could be inspired at any moment in the day. Look for that spark and nurture it. Don't let it die. And of course, the three, like, in marketing, we have 4 P's. The 3 P's, you practice any art, any skill, you have to practice daily, relentlessly. You have to be patient. It's not that you'll start to making awesome, super awesome sculptures and, very large installations the second day. But you have to be patient, be at it, and perseverance. The biggest thing is the human factor. Never forget what we humans as a species are capable of. We are extremely resilient. You can see, like, For example, what Sir was talking about with his Everest summit, with the frostbite and all, it's very inspiring. What the human mind can think, it can achieve. So never forget the human factor. The technology is all there. It's supposed to be there to help you. It's your tool. It's just okay. Slave is not a good word, but it's there to support you and serve you. Don't let it overpower your own thinking, your own capability. Sorry, what did I do? They say it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something, 50,000 hours to be a master. Who's counting? You find your spark, you do your work, let the others count. For me, it's been a lot of fun. Even though you see all these fancy sculptures, I still enjoy folding the occasional plane. Can I chuck it into the audience? Let's see what happens. Yes? Thank you.